How fragile is your inner peace? A single comparison, a frustrating argument, or someone else's mistake can shatter your calm for the rest of the day. We live in a world that constantly tests our patience and tranquility. But what if peace wasn't something you find, but something you actively cultivate and protect? The Stoics were architects of the soul, and they designed a blueprint for an unshakable inner calm. Today, we'll explore their secrets to rising above the noise and finding a profound sense of stillness, no matter the external storm. The altar on which all is one. Many grains of incense on the same altar. One fell earlier, another later, it makes no difference. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. What is the difference between you and the richest person in the world? One has a little more money than the other. What is the difference between you and the oldest person in the world? One has lived a little longer than the other. The same is true for the tallest, the smartest, and so on. When we compare ourselves to other people, it becomes harder for us to accept things, because we desire what they have, or we want things to have turned out how they could have, not how they did. But it doesn't matter. Some may perceive Marcus Aurelius' saying as pessimistic, some as optimistic. In reality, it is simply true. We are all here now, and we will all sooner or later leave this earth, so for now, let's not get bogged down in the little things. We still have too much to do. The joy of rejecting negativity. How simple it is to push away and wipe clean every bothersome or unsuitable impression, and immediately be in all tranquility. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. This broad perspective helps dissolve envy and resentment. But the Stoics also taught a more active and surgical approach to protecting our peace. They were mercifully spared by fate from the information overload inherent in modern society. They had no social media, no newspapers, no infuriating television chatter. But even back then, a person without discipline could find enough distractions and frustrations. Part of the Stoic mentality was cultivated by ignorance. This is expressed in the epigram of Publius Cyrus, "Always avoid what angers you." That is, avoid what might provoke you. If you see that a political discussion is leading to a clash, why continue to fan the flames? If your brothers or sisters' life choices annoy you, why not stop caring about it? Let them live as they wish. The same applies to a huge number of sources of irritation. Avoiding provocations of irritation is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is a sign of a strong will. Try saying, "I know my typical reaction in such situations, and I am not going to let it happen this time." And then add, "And I am also going to exclude such impulses from my life in the future." Because what will follow is peace and tranquility. It's not on them, it's on you. If someone makes a mistake, teach them with kindness and show them their oversight. But if you cannot, then blame yourself, or not even that. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. But what about the times when we can't simply walk away from frustrating situations? What about when a friend, a family member, or a colleague makes a mistake that directly affects us? Here, the Stoics challenge us to take an even deeper level of responsibility. A good teacher knows, if a student is not succeeding, the teacher is at fault. How much more generous and tolerant would we be if we could extend this understanding to other areas of our lives? So that we could notice, if a friend lets us down, perhaps they didn't know what happened, or we didn't try to help them correct their shortcomings. If an employee is not working as they should, just talk to them or find out if they need help. If someone annoys you with their persistence and clinginess, discuss their behavior with them or ask yourself, why do I feel so strongly about this? If that doesn't work, try to step back. Perhaps it was just a one-time thing. Everything will be alright. Let neither another's despair nor their elation carry you away. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. This level of patience and responsibility for others can seem demanding. It requires a deep well of inner strength and confidence. Where does this confidence come from? It comes from a core Stoic belief that no matter what happens, in the end, everything will be alright. When something bad happens, the feeling arises, it's all over. Everything is finished. Then comes complaining about fate, dissatisfaction, and suffering, and then a desperate and often fruitless struggle against what has already happened. Why worry in vain? We have no idea what the future holds for us. We have no idea what awaits us around the corner. Perhaps there will be new problems, or perhaps this is the darkness before the dawn. If we are Stoics, we can be sure of one thing: whatever happens, we'll be okay. Follow the Logos. Calm and yet moving, light and yet steadfast, such is the one who in all things follows reason. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. But how can we be so sure that everything will be alright? This isn't just blind optimism. It's a deep trust in the governing principle of the universe, what the Stoics called the Logos. The guiding principle of the world acts in mysterious ways. Sometimes the Logos gives us what we desire, sometimes exactly what we do not desire. In any case, it was believed that the Logos is an all-powerful force that governs the universe. To explain the Logos, there is a useful analogy: we are like a dog tied to a moving cart. The direction of the cart's movement determines where we go. Depending on the length of the leash, we have some room to look around and determine our own speed, but in reality, everyone must choose, either to move voluntarily, or to be dragged along painfully. What do you choose? Joyful acceptance? Ignorant refusal? In the end, it's all the same destination. Conclusion. See the bigger picture. Reject negativity. Take responsibility. Trust in your resilience. And follow the natural path of the universe willingly. This is the Stoic formula for a life of profound tranquility. It is the choice to walk with the cart, not to be dragged by it. Peace is not an accident, It is a practice. If you are ready to cultivate this unshakable inner calm, I invite you to subscribe and continue the journey. My sincere gratitude goes to our partners, whose support makes these explorations possible. Supporting them is a wonderful way to support our channel. Let's walk this path to peace together.